Good Morning Football. We are presented by Audi, live in New York City. Happy Wednesday. It's April 18th. We are 8 days away from the draft. Gang is all here, and we are so excited to be joined by LSU running back Darius Geis later on in the show. Actually coming up pretty quick, and he, 8 nights from now, Schrags, will be putting on one of these hats in front of us. One of 32 hats, and these are the new era draft hats that are out there on the table, and Darius Geis will be selected that first round. And how excited are you? This is your boy.
This is unbelievably cool. I love the NFL comparisons of draft prospects. You always hear Mark Ingram, Marshawn Lynch. Darius Geis compares himself to Marshawn Lynch, and he should. He is a bad dude.
All right, looking forward to Darius Geis. A lot of fun on the show yet to come. Stay tuned. It's time for Lead Block.
Lead Block!
So here's the deal. The draft, like I said, 8 days away. We wanted to take the perspective of 3 of the most intriguing quarterbacks in this draft. We got Josh Rosen and Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen. And which team represents that perfect fit for them on draft night? The perfect fit, you guys. So we have the draft hats by New Era on the table. Let's get started. If you were Josh Rosen, where is the perfect fit?
I'm going to go right here. Did I just grab your hat, Peter?
No.
Nate's at a disadvantage.
I'm going to bend the brim. Is that a faux pas? I'm going to go Josh Rosen right here. Camera 4, operator Manny is loving it because he's a Jets fan. Josh Rosen, I think, needs to go someplace that is going to be a fit for him in the community. I had the most New York day ever yesterday, okay? I walked out of here. I had some Thai food off a food truck. I went to MoMA. I went to the Museum of Modern Art. I've never been there before. Saw water lilies and Starry Night and all that. Culture, sophistication. I like Josh Rosen. I also think he could learn a lot from Josh McCown, a guy who's been everywhere, seen everything, knows what to say, what not to say. Sit on the bench for a little bit. Enjoy Manhattan. Be you. Josh Rosen to the Big Apple.
All I can think about is that we need to send this hat to Tony Richardson.
Jet up!
No,
he spells it. He spelled the name.
Poor Tony.
He's got to wear that, man. It's a 4-letter word.
Got to spell the word right. I mean, not our fault.
It's not like he's on the Buccaneers.
I'm going with this team, the New York Giants. I'm keeping him in New York, and I think number 2 overall is probably not a reality right now if you're reading all the mock drafts. But if you remember back in February at the Combine in January, what's everyone saying? He had the best Combine. He threw the best.
Right.
He's that good.
Right.
And look, if Darnold goes number 1 to the Browns, what better place for him than New York City where he can learn from Eli Manning, can wait a year, can then get in and have all those weapons. And if Odell and all these guys are going to get older, and Ingram and Sterling Shepard, you need a quarterback. I think Josh Rosen is the most precise quarterback of all. He's got some New York attitude. I like it.
But you just said it. You said he threw the best. He had the best combine. So if he did all that, why would you want that guy to sit down and wait a year? Why don't you put him in a position where he can fight for that number 1 spot? Now, listen, we love McCarron, and maybe he is a starter for the future. But right now, if you go in that situation and he is the guy that can play immediately, yeah, you put him in a scenario in a place like this. And on top of that, it's the Buffalo Bills. It's not this huge market where he's going to get lost in the sauce. He can go out there, focus on football, and focus on lighting up the skies. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
I think for any quarterback, my perfect fit somewhere that he can sit. Don't you think? Like, don't you want your quarterback to sit if you have that luxury?
I do. Unless you're Deshaun Watson.
I get if you're the fans, you want to see them, and if you're us, we want to see these guys. Like, we're all like, Patrick Mahomes. But Eli, sort of different personality than what we know of Rosen. I feel like he could learn a lot sitting there.
He could. But certain guys are ready to play now, though.
Yeah, fair. All right, next up, if you were Baker Mayfield, which team would be your perfect fit? Go.
Wait a second. Go ahead.
I'm going first.
Peter came from my jugular.
I cannot wait for this, and I think it's going to happen. Number 3 overall, the Jets take Baker Mayfield. There is no person I want to see in New York City more than this guy, and it's not because of his off the field and he's a crazy playboy. He's not that guy. I think that's been blown out of proportion. I just think he's got the confidence and the swagger to say, you guys have been second fiddle in that market since 1969. You're always the other team. I'm going to make you the team. Baker Mayfield throws people on his back. He's always been the underdog. He was a walk-on at Texas Tech before leaving and going to Oklahoma and winning the job outright. I love his energy. I love his passion. I think he represents the Jets fans. Always being the underdog, always being the second. This is the guy, Baker Mayfield to the Jets.
Hey, what are you wearing?
And then you have Jamal Adams on the defensive side of the ball as sort of the fiery leader to balance it.
That's
nice,
true.
young, fun team.
Kyle looked at me. Nate, what are you wearing?
What
are you
wearing,
doing?
man?
Listen, you guys are familiar that the New England Patriots got a couple picks, right, in that deal with L.A. I feel like this is the perfect scenario Nothing lasts forever. Tom Brady can't play forever, and Baker Mayfield has played big in some big moments, just like Tom Brady. So here's the thing. If you have him sitting behind one of the best quarterbacks of all time, this young, brash quarterback who just might slide in this draft because people don't respect the fact that he won the Heisman and he is one of the best quarterbacks in this draft, Patriots might have a quarterback for the future.
All right, I'm going to go with these guys right here. The hat doesn't really fit me, but I'm going to go with New Orleans. New Orleans. Look at this. On the back, I have one thing. It's like a
Marky Mark.
I know, right? When I see sweat coming out your pores, I got a hinge here.
Cliffhanger right there.
But I want to go with New Orleans. The obvious, he plays under Drew Brees. He's in a dome. Sean Payton.
Logo. The Bills too
It's a fleur-de-lis. Spoiler alert, Peter. Sorry, there it is. I have a large cranium. Would you make fun of me more? Safe space over here. All right. Trying to get out my football talk.
Don't get triggered.
All right. No,
That last snap looking like a handshake over there.
I know, it's barely hanging on.
It sucks to have so much brain in here, guys. I don't know what to do. So much gray matter, I can't contain it. It's the Superdome up here, which is my segue to the Saints. You know, the whole deal is...
Superdome.
That's right, it's the Superdome. Jerry World. Baker, you got to rein in that attitude. Rein it in... Do you?
No,
Do you have to rein in this attitude on the Saints?
Yep.
Do you? No, I don't think so. Does the head coach rein in his attitude? No, he doesn't give a bleep if you don't like it. Go be Baker. I don't want to see Wall Street Baker. I want to see Boomer Sooner down in NOLA. This is the guy. Hat be damned. Baker.
Bourbon
Go to
Street
Saints.
Baker.
Bourbon Street. I don't know about that, but Superdome for sure.
I dig it. Last one here. Grab your hats, dudes. If you were Josh Allen, what would be the perfect fit?
Nate, I'm not passing you squat. Get out of here.
Give me this, man. Give me this.
I'm going to go here. This is a fitted hat. Don't work so well for me. I have it on now, which means I can barely breathe. Wait till you see the red stripe across my forehead. Denver. First of all, I like the geography.
It gave you like a little lift.
Yeah, I might pass out, though. It's so
I think it looks good.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay, so Denver.
Denver. The obvious geography, Wyoming, Colorado. The obvious mentor, John Elway. The only guy who had a stronger arm than Josh Allen might have been his new boss if he goes to Denver. Sit behind Case Keenum, who knows everybody, has seen everything. I don't know if Denver's going to like Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen would love Denver. That's where I'd go anywhere. I'd go there.
Here's the thing about Josh Allen. You don't know if he's going to go number 1, number 4. He could slide a little bit in this draft. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. Listen, they already have Tyrod Taylor. They got my guy Drew Stanton. To learn from two quarterbacks in a situation where you don't have to play right away, where even if you do end up winning a job a couple years later, you're going to be surrounded by a ton of talent. So I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. They could use a big guy in Cleveland.
I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I think they have to trade up to get him. I don't think he's slipping to 12, but I do think it's the perfect fit for him. You've got McCarron for at least a few weeks to start the season, and then you hand the franchise over to a guy with the biggest arm we've ever seen come out of the NFL draft. Arguably, since what they're saying, since we saw Joe Flacco come into the league, he has the biggest arm, and I look at cold weather games in Buffalo late with all that snow, the elements. This guy played up in Wyoming. He can do it. Small town guys, it's a small market compared to the others. I think this is a great fit. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills for Josh Allen.
Cantaloupes go well with wings?
I don't know about that.
I don't know how they like
He's a
melons
California
up there.
kid,
They
you're
like
right.
melancholy a little bit.
Yeah.
Nate, I'm putting you on the spot. Let's say you're really making the decision. You're whichever team, and you need a quarterback. You know you need to grab one, and it's Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield. Can you draft a 6'1" quarterback over a Josh Allen?
Yes. When you look at Russell Wilson, when you look at Drew Brees, when you look at Tyrod Taylor and some of the games that he's shown us that he could play at that height.
You don't think they just have freak athleticism that Baker Mayfield doesn't have?
No, Drew Brees doesn't have freak athleticism. He can just negotiate the pocket with his footwork, and he has one of the best arms we've seen. He's very efficient, and that's exactly what we're saying about Baker Mayfield.
I take Baker Mayfield, but every time Schrags brings up the size, I'm like, that's how they're thinking. That's
Historically, I will say this. You could easily flip it on its side just like you did and say, can you really take a kid who lost 17-3 to Iowa in the only national televised game over Baker Mayfield, who did it on the biggest stage? And that's the debate right now.
We'll get into that in the Making the Case segment later in the show. Yeah, I think
Making
we
the
will.
case today. Will Selva's excited about that, and we'll have to send you one of these hats, buddy.
Absolutely. I see the Niners hat.
Rise
take
up,
care of
Red
me.
Sea.
Yeah. Which one you wear many
that's
hats
right,
with.
producer
Which one do
Dan.
you want? Pass me
one do
another
you
one.
want?
The Niners
Ravens
one. Where's the
flock.
Niners
The
one?
Niners have a quarterback, Will.
Go Fins.
Will's a Bay Area guy. Where's the Niners? Yeah, there.
Yeah, we'll send
I
it
know,
to you.
the
Fins
Niners.
up.
But you know what I am surprised? I'm surprised that the Niners one doesn't say brick by brick. It just says Niners on it.
says
Kind of
Niners.
surprised by that.
A Niner.
Play like a Raven.
Yeah, Niner boy.
Play like a
So,
Raven, Will. Take it away.
Yeah, all right. There you go. Make sure to say that Niner one there for me. All right. Well, the mantra, trust the process, is one closely associated with the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers. The rallying cry has helped the team's fans endure several losing seasons, only to see the Sixers finally make it to the playoffs. Trust the process is now spilling over into the NFL as Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers is quoting it. Rodgers mentioning it in relation to the Packers' moves this offseason. A Yahoo Sports report claims Rodgers wanted more input into the decision, such as letting go of wide receiver Jordy Nelson and quarterbacks coach Alex Van Pelt. In response, Rodgers says he knows what his role is for this franchise.
I know my role, and that's to play quarterback the best that I can, and the team is going to try and put the right guys in place, the right coaches in place, the right players in place, and you just have to trust the process. As we've talked about over the years, this process works, and it has worked for Mike for a number of years. Obviously, that's why he's still here in his 13th season. We've had a lot of success here, and you've got to trust the process.
Trust the process. Well, the Buccaneers picking up the fifth-year option on quarterback Jameis Winston on Tuesday, as expected, really. Winston will make just under $21 million in 2019. He missed 3 games in 2017 with a shoulder injury, but says he's feeling healthy and good for the upcoming season. And the 49ers making it a special homecoming for U.S. Air Force Technical Sergeant Rob Thomas as he surprised his family at Levi's Stadium after a 6-month deployment.
Back, boy. Stop looking up. Lift it up. That's money. There you go. That's money. That's money. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Ah. There you go, man. Yeah.
Wow, what a special moment there. Once again, the family of Air Force Tech Sergeant Rob Thomas. To you, sir, thank you for your service to this country. What a special moment there.
You got me crying. You got everybody crying here. Incredible moment in story. Glad they got that on tape. Great stuff, Will Selva. We'll talk to you in a little bit. I'm going to stop crying because we got company. We've got Darius Geis in studio. Let me play SEC history to have 3 games rushing more